Welcome to June DIYers. For many of us, the heat is here, so this month I'm going to keep everything indoors. But before we jump into our June tasks, let's recap the 5 things we do every month that was introduced in the first video in January. First, we test our GFCI outlets. Second, we test our smoke and CO2 detectors. Third, if we have an alarm system, we test that. Fourth, we check and replace our HVAC filters if they're older than 3 months. And then lastly, we check and replace any water filters, or if you have a water softener, that's a good time to check your salt levels. Okay, before we get into the tasks, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to click that bell, and as always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those down below. Okay, with our monthly tasks out of the way, we're now going to focus on plumbing and bathrooms this month. We're going to start by doing an inspection of the plumbing system and components. I start with where the supply comes in, which is tucked back here. I do a visual inspection of all the pipes. I also check any valves. I also do the same for the water heater. I want to test all the valves to make sure that they're not stuck. I want to inspect the pipes to make sure that there are no leaks. There are no components that are corroded. If you find any of these situations, you're going to want to get them resolved as soon as possible. Now, since you're at the water heater, this is a good time to drain your water heater. Now, you'll do this by connecting a hose at the outlet down below. Then you're going to want to shut off the supply line. Then open up the valve to drain out the contents. Now, before you do this, make sure you warn everybody in the house that they may be without hot water for about half of a day. After you're done draining the tank, close the drain valve and then reopen the supply line. Now, when you're draining it, you might want to do a visual inspection of the water coming out and going into the drain. If it's got a lot of orange or a lot of sediment, it may mean that your tank's on the way out and the bottom is rusting. You may need to replace that water heater. Okay, we finish out the plumbing inspection by checking every faucet, valve, drain, toilet. We're looking for active leaks or signs of previous leaks. We're testing shutoff valves and just checking overall operation of a faucet or a toilet. Unfortunately, not every member of the household or guest informs us of when things don't work properly, so we have to inspect things annually to prevent expensive repairs. While you're inspecting your faucets, now is a good time to replace the aerators. Some aerators, such as this, are a little tricky, but I do have a video on how to handle those tricky aerators. I'll link to it up here. Also, you may have some slow drains. If so, pour some vinegar, white distilled vinegar down that drain, wait about 20 minutes, and then rinse it. Now, if you still have a slow drain or a clogged drain after that, you've got a few options. You can snake the drain using a simple snake, such as this one. If that doesn't do the trick, you may need to go to a real heavy-duty drain snake. Your other option is to remove the P-trap underneath and see if you can clear the clog that way. The third option involves salt, vinegar, and baking soda. Take about a half a cup of baking soda, half a cup of salt, mix those together, pour them down the drain, and then add half a cup of vinegar. Wait about 20 minutes. While that's going on, you may want to boil about a quart of water and then pour the boiling water, after it's done boiling, down the drain, see if that fixes it. Since you have the vinegar out, you can also use that to clean your shower heads. If it's a small shower head, you can pour the vinegar into a quart-sized bag and rubber band it around the shower head. Let it sit for a few hours, take it off, turn on your shower head, and then rinse off the stem and the shower head. If you have a large shower head, you can remove it and soak it in a larger container of vinegar, or you can take a soft bristle brush, dip that vinegar, and then get to scrubbing. While you're in each bathroom, check the toilets for proper operation. It's also a good idea to inspect the inside of the tank to look for any deterioration of rubber pieces, excessive rust, or metal pieces, or anything that doesn't look right. Better to replace those now while the toilet is operational, rather than getting caught with your pants down, literally. I recommend turning off the valve, the supply valve, flushing the toilet so you get an empty tank, and then inspecting your tank. Lastly, don't forget to check any exterior hose bibs or spigots if you didn't already check those in April. If you find a leaky hose bib, those are actually quite easy to repair or fix without replacing the valve. I'll provide some links to how to do that in the description down below. Lastly, for this month, I go around to the bathrooms and the kitchens and I inspect grout and caulk. I make note of any grout that's breaking up or needs a deep cleaning. I do the same for caulk. And then over the summer, anytime I feel like being productive but I want to stay out of the heat, I tackle that list. Okay, that's going to do it for this month. Next month is July, and it's going to be a very short month. In fact, it's so short, you will be done with all of your tasks before you even complete your shopping list for the 4th of July. All right, I look forward to seeing you next month. I'm Chris with Toolbox DIY. Thanks for watching.